All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. This is fielded at the goal line. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go now. 50, plant. Here we go. Shoot it!
On first down, Benjamin. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big pickup of 38.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Minshew, 1st and 10. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Bernardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack. A week ago, they dominated in the trenches. They got in the backfield for 5 sacks, setting the tone there, one on the opening drive.
And it sets the tone for the opposing team, doesn't it? Remember when you were a kid and you went to the theater and saw that horror movie and it stuck with you for a while and you were a little bit jumpy? Well, if you saw 5 sacks the previous week and you're the quarterback, he might be a little jumpy as well. Might throw off his timing.
Yeah, it'd be jumpy, but sorry, Bob and Linda wouldn't let me see a PG movie until I was 17.
Well, that's just good parenting.
Ready.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Kill.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all this stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Right back to him on first down. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
A gain of 10 brings up 3rd and inches.
Ready up.
The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches.
58, big stop.
They'll try to throw forward with Minshew. Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Josh Oliver, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. Josh Lambo now for the point after. And this is up and good. The score now 7-0 Jaguars.
Jaguars 7, Texans nothing. Josh Lambo to kick off for Jacksonville.
And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
From the 30 on second down, Watson going for the deep ball. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Watson's throw pulled in by Hopkins. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Set, 3T. Check, line 54. Line 54.
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. It was Taven Bryan who got him down defensively.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. He finds Hopkins complete. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
What is that? 19, 54. Check the out, check the out, check the out.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Johnson. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. They give to Johnson going right. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
A shotgun snap for Watson. He's got this one complete to Sherfield. And he will not be able to get the 1st as he can get this only down to the 5. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try and at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. On 2nd and 9, Minshew under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Let's go. 60 or. You gonna see me in your nightmares. Come. You gonna see me. Ready?
So 3rd and long. Here's Minshew. He's going to air it out for Dorsett. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
After the interception, here's Watson. And off his back foot, he'll heave this one deep. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Riley Harrison. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45.
I know some teams are leery about playing cover 2 because the strong safety's not usually a terrific cover guy. But in this case, he played it perfectly. Read the football and went and made the interception.
On 1st down, Benjamin. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Throwing on 2nd down now, Minshew. He'll let this go for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Able to get there and pick it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know. We know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
The competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. How about 5 sacks last week? We just saw their first one of this game.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Going up top. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive.
On the ready.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite at that level and not at that age. But
I was going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke, and he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
Throwing on second down. Minshew. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. 20. And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 63 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone.
80 weapons.
Throwing on first down is Minshew. This one caught by his tight end, Oliver. A gain of 6 there on first. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2.
Ready to break.
Looking to throw it. Minshew to the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. No success on first down. He couldn't get any yardage. They give it to him again, and he finds the end zone.
Sometimes it just has to be persistence, doesn't it? And you know who else helps with that? Offensive line. After a team's been stuffed, the last thing they want to do is go to a different play call. They want to come back and do it again and show that they can dominate the line of scrimmage.
And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off at the 28. And this one will be brought back to the 22. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Philip Dorsett with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. And that is the definition of yards after catch. They go short on the pass, and the receiver does the rest.
Seems so harmless, doesn't it, to throw it underneath a short pass like that? But, boy, it gets dangerous in the hands of the right receiver as he makes a move and takes it the distance.
And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Short kick here, fielded about the 17. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL.
Hey, alert 48. Hey, we're going to make the 48 right now.
On first down, Watson. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Javon Hargrave. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Go ahead, take a seat. You can't stop me.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Now it's Watson. And he's going to go down again. Javon Hargrave. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Josh Allen in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. Here's Brian Anger now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he'll get credit for a punt inside the 20, not by much, but inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. You're under 30 seconds to go. Field position not great. Time to call it a half, wouldn't you say?
Well, you know we all have that little extra gene that says let's push the envelope a little bit, right? What needs to be going through the play caller's mind right now, a potential fumbled snap that can get returned, a strip sack that can get returned, right? Any of those types of plays, that should be a deterrent to calling something that could get you in big trouble.
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
Watson now to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however, and let's see what that's about. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Out of the gun, Watson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And he's going to keep it here. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Watson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion. Still in search of their 1st touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and the Jags grab it. He tried to buy some time to the right. So, Charles, when a guy gets out of the pocket, what's the focus of the quarterback?
Most of them keep their eyes downfield. They want to try and make a play throwing the ball. Now, some of them, they want to tuck it and go. But when they scramble, in this case, as you said, to the right, you're cutting the field in half. So good defenses kind of converge in that spot, and they don't give you much territory to throw the ball. He had nowhere to go with it. Ends up getting the ball stripped.
18 Gator.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he's got some space here. A Jacksonville 1st down on a pickup of 17.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Going with Armstead, a 1st down carry. Touchdown, Jaguars! Raquel Armstead, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on...
Under pressure, they got him again. Javon Hargrave in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
On 2nd down, it's Johnson. Now they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
Set. 18. 6-man. Check curls, check curls, check curls. 3 points down, he's coming. 3 points.
Here's Watson, operating from the gun. Steps away to his left. Now he's going to go deep down the left side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, there's a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, deep ball, short ball. And that was a deep one there. They're making plays on the football, contesting everything.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Ready, ready. Get the mic. Hey, let's go. Cut. Hey, exit. Cut up.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Minshew.
Come on, QB, come on.
Oliver, the tight end, making the catch. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
Yeah. Okay, ready? Go 58 to the mic. I got you. I got you, son. I got you. You're all mine. You're all mine.
On 3rd down, Benjamin. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
Here's Logan Cook now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Thomas, the intended target.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
A give running right is Armstead. He'll get the 1st down and more inside the 20. Touchdown, Jaguars! Raquel Armstead with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being...
And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 24. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. So their woes on offense continue. That's the second pick thrown here in the third quarter.
And we know it was ill-advised. But that was an opportunity to help them get back into the game. Instead, he throws another interception, and now their task is even tougher.
Watch the run, watch the run.
They'll run on first down. Benjamin, nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll keep it on the ground. Benjamin, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
A gain of 11 on the play. First down, Jacksonville.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Ready up. 58, Mike. I'll get him, get him, get him. Get it.
Now Armstead. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Brings up second and 12 at the 36-yard line.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's second and 12. On second down, Minshew. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Benardrick McKinney able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
Well, enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a third and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. He'll rifle this one deep. It's caught at the 10. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on second and goal.
Ready, shoot.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DJ Reader gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Out of the gun is Minshew. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. After the penalty, it's Miller. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be 2nd down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
5 yards will get them back to the original line of scrimmage, but now they're looking at 3rd and 10.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Again, it's Johnson. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. Here's Brian Anger now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. And that will skip out of bounds right at about the 18-yard line.
Let's go.
18-yard line.
Ready.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Minshew, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the 1st down. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. Here's Logan Cook now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 29-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
I want that. Give me that ball, defense.
A design run for their wideout. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. And the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down.
Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
On the toss, here's Johnson. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard.